You know, a lot of people ask me why I'm always eating. Well, that's very easy to answer. I'm always hungry. But most importantly, the man with the food wins every time. See, back in the day, you had all these patriots, and they're screaming and crying to everyone, and they're encouraging everybody to buy arms, buy firearms, buy all these ammunition and gold and silver and food and water. No, idiot. No, idiot. It's water, food, then weapons. Not the other way around. and this is why millions of American men and American women died early in the game, because they thought somehow that their AR-15 or their shotgun or their 9mm or their 45 or 44 was going to somehow save them. Wrong. People can be so idiotic. Wow. I mean, I knew Americans were stupid, but I didn't realize they were that stupid. My weapon's gonna save me. No, it's not. Wrong. You see, in the order in which it goes is a man needs air, and then a man needs water, and then a man needs food. In that order. Now, I tell you what, when the video revolution was really getting into gear and was in full swing all over the interwebs, boy, that was a hoot. Because let me tell you something. The New World Order very quickly, was able to round up all these nimrods that were voluntarily giving their inventory to us through video on the interwebs. I mean, it was great. We'd have agents at these fusion centers, and they'd be monitoring these videos, and they would say, oh, look, Joey just bought a new AR-15. He's showing it off to everybody. Isn't that cute? They'd write it down on a little list. Yeah. Here we go with the stupidity again. Yep. You had those people thinking that, well, when the crap hits the fan, I'm going to take my guns and I'm going to steal from somebody who has. I'm going to be a have. I'm not going to be a have-not because I have a big gun. And I have all this ammunition. And I have all this training. Really now. Well, maybe if you did some medical math and thought to yourself, let's see, if a man goes about a day or two creeping on 3 with no water, your organs will start to shut down. Extremely painful way to go, let me tell you. Now, if a man doesn't have food, in other words, enough nutrients to keep him going, he or she is not going to have the energy to pick up that weapon in the first place. So what makes you think that you're going to get off your happy ass after 2, 3, 4 days and you're going to run around stealing from somebody else if you don't have the physical ability to do so? And I tell you what, first of all, you know, the Shadowmar and the New World Order soldiers, we scooped those people up just that quick. It was awesome. They were giving us inventories of what they had. Awesome. Awesome. But you know, a lot of people weren't too terribly stupid either, because the people with the weapons were searching on these different video sharing sites for individuals that were boasting and bragging about their food supply and their water supply. Because let me tell you something right now, it's not too hard to figure out who's who anymore in the world. Oh no. So you see, this is where things got really interesting. The American government had been so corrupt for so long that they have pinned the American people against all these other countries. And they did this through three ways, three means. The first way was the NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. That was the final stake in all of America's heart. Okay? Because it killed America financially. Now, the second one, prior to that, is sending all the military forces in about every country that you could shake a stick at, and trying to push or force, cram down democracy down these people's throats when they weren't interested. And I tell you what, if they're not interested, it's too bad, because we're going to ram a goddamn fucking bomb up your ass to make you get interested. So what's the difference between freedom and communism? Not much. Especially when you have somebody that has you by the nape of your hair and a gun in your face, preaching freedom. Freedom my ass. Freedom. Let me tell you something. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist, or vice versa. So that was the second case. And the third case prior to that was this humanitarian nonsense. We want to help you. We want to help you after that natural disaster. Consequently, these spies would infiltrate all throughout the country. All throughout these different countries and that. And they try to get military secrets, or they try to find out different positions. Sometimes they'd get caught, sometimes they wouldn't. All under the cloak of trying to help another nation because of either financial problems or a natural disaster. Pick something. Once again, it was some sort of a way for America to get the upper hand on the competition. Because I tell you what, you didn't see America marching into North Korea, did you? Did you? Of course you didn't. Because North Korea has nothing to offer. Strategically, economically, minerally, nothing. Has nothing to offer. But did you see us go stomping into Iraq? Absolutely. Did you see us go stomping into Libya back in the 80s? Absolutely. Yeah, we're in the mood to help everybody. Everybody that has something to offer. And years back with all that crap with the Middle East, that was staged. That was done on purpose. Certainly was. For a variety of reasons. And you know what this funny thing? The funny thing of it all is, I remember when I used to be a pathetic civilian. I remember the day where I'd be driving to my corporate job, and I'd look on the side of the road and I'd see some bum, some scumbag, some piece of trash with a piece of cardboard around his neck that stated, "We'll work for food." And I used to laugh at him. I used to think one or two things. Boy, that guy's got a lot of balls to stand there in front of God and everybody with this sign wrapped around his neck. And the second thing I thought of was, what a scam. You see what I mean? I'm not going to give that. That guy's scamming. Why should I go bust my ass to help this knucklehead? So I wouldn't give him any money. But I tell you what, if I had a can of peas, I'd toss it to him. Absolutely. Because that's the American way. We can deal with somebody not having a home. We can deal with somebody not having their television. We can deal with somebody not having their little fancy-ass computer. We can deal with somebody that doesn't have the little treats and comforts like the rest of us, like movies and going out to dinner and going out to a park or something like that, or hiking or a fair or whatever. We can deal with that. But what we can't deal with is when people go hungry. Not in America. Because overall, Americans do not go hungry. Until, of course, the end. But I tell you what, I'm not going hungry. You know, Mike is right, baby. Oh no, I'm not going hungry. This is, you know what? This is a Campbell soup moment. Good, I tell you. But you see, when it all fell apart, the New World Order had this planned from the get-go. From the get-go, they had it planned. That they were going to have all these Americans that were going to be unemployed. They knew that. And those jobs would never, ever, ever in a million years come back. No way. Oh, no. And those people are going to magically become the new workforce for whatever the hell we want them for. Because now, instead of having 1 or 100 or even a couple of thousand men on the corners with cardboard wrapped around their neck talking about how they will work for food, now there's millions of them. Millions of them. The man that would only work for $35 an hour, you couldn't get that sumbitch out of bed for less than 18. These guys that were making $35 an hour, $18 an hour, they'll be more than happy to work for you for a can of peas. It's great. I love it. It was such a good plan. It really was. Because I tell you what, the man with the food wins. Truly. Oh. The New World Order is, we're pretty brilliant. Okay? We're a lot smarter than a lot of people get credit for. Ooh. Excuse me. So in closing, let me ask you a question. Will you work for food?
That's right. None can call it a conspiracy.